up? What's up? Good morning, everybody. Welcome aboard to Trading Live with Bubba, and it's pretty quiet, unfortunately. Basically, the last, a few months, we've been getting some moves overnight, but not much during the day. Yesterday was interesting with the tariff talk, which it shouldn't have been interesting because we all know that there was going to be tariffs on Saturday. Now they're obviously back, taking it back a little bit, so you're seeing a little bit of a rally here. But it does appear that, again, the lack of activity makes it harder to day trade. But we will obviously look and see. But your volume is so light in the notes. It's so light in gold right now that there's very, very little opportunity at the moment. But it doesn't mean that we won't get something to do here. But basically what you're watching is all markets are kind of consolidating, waiting to decide the next move. So now a lot of the moves, a lot of the information is based on what is Trump going to tweet something? Is there going to be something that we don't expect? And there's obviously a much greater likelihood of that happening. So we'll be prepared for that. But right now, again, you had gold, which had an opportunity earlier to be a buyer, made a big rally. Now we're just kind of heading back down again. So we'll see. In the meantime, let's take a look at the regular board and see if there's anything worth looking at here. In the stocks that we follow, Apple, really not much. Obviously, last week we talked about selling it, and of course it did come down. But we did not want to do anything because, of course, earnings were coming, so we didn't trade it then. Amazon has earnings on Thursday, so really we're not going to get involved. Certainly, the only trade I would make, if any, would be to sell it. But again, why should I get involved when I have no idea what the number is going to be and what the reaction is going to be? Because it's not only knowing what the number is going to be, it's what will the reaction to the markets be to the number? What is the market actually expecting? So we go back down, we'll look at coin. Coin's kind of in the middle of nowhere. Certainly we talked about last week selling this, and of course you saw it come down. I would say that right here there's not much to do. Crowd would be another. We sold it last week, and it worked out just fine. I would think that this is probably another potential opportunity. And let's just take a peek at the board and see what the spreads look like. I mean, obviously, all I'm doing here is looking at some potential trades in the idea of collecting some premium while I'm waiting for some real action. Again, we're short-term trading here or whatever. These aren't position trades. And so if I look at crowd and we look at, let's say, for Friday, let's say the 402.50, 405 for $1.18, I could live with that trade. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and put that on right now. Okay. So I sold the crowd spread. Okay. And of course, Meta is making new highs. It is overbought, and certainly I'm going to go ahead and look at that as well. Meta, let's see here. Look at the 705, 707.50. And again, this is 122. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and 107.5. Sorry. Let me revamp this to the 707.50, 710 for $1.15. I'm going to take that trade as well. Again, remember, these trades are based only on that you're looking for the stock not to go much higher. It doesn't have to go down. We just don't want it to go much higher than where it's at right now. Okay. And of course, we are very overbought, so I have no problem with that. Google's got earnings today, so there'll be no trade. Certainly, if we were going to make a trade, I would be selling it, but there is no trade because of earnings. IWM, no trade, in the middle of nowhere. Microsoft, certainly a look to become a potential buyer. I think we've gotten more away than I would have liked to. It would have been better yesterday, so we'll pass that. MSTR, again, look at that. Get right down to that. We had no we had no opportunity if we're doing it together. So again, sometimes there's just not trades to be made. Nugget, November Uniform Golf Tango. Certainly, I would look to sell spreads here, and let's see what they look like. NUGT. Probably not enough premium, but let's take a look. 1, 2, 3. And take one down here. 48.49. I'm going to take that trade at 45 cents. Again, I'm taking many of you are used to taking less per credit and more risk, but farther away. I'm banking on that this position is correct and that they are overbought, and the probability of them going much higher from here is not likely. So I'm going to take the trade here. Okay, let's just go see what's going on in here now, if there's anything worth doing it. Certainly, the notes are a potential trade right now if you trade them. So let's take a look and see if we have an action. And yes, you can, if you do trade the notes, certainly it is worth a sell. But they stop at 109.08. 109.08 would be a stop. So that's a trade to make. The index is really not enough volume, not enough panic, not enough chase. So what we're trying to do is get the emotional side of the trade. That's what we look for, is to take advantage of the emotion. And the markets are basically have virtually zero emotion right now. So let's go back to here. NVIDIA has earnings next week. Certainly would be worth looking at a potential buy here, and we will, which means we would be selling put spreads. NVDA. Okay, so here I'm going to sell, I'd say the 119, 118. What does that look like? 119, 118 for 43 cents. Yeah, I can live with that. Okay, and the Qs, not much to do in the middle of nowhere. Need a bigger rally. SMCI, kind of rallying, got earnings this week, so nothing to do. Square, nothing to do. SPY, nothing to do. Tesla would be a buy, I know. It's down near the bottom. Let's take a look. Selling some put spreads there. One second. Tesla, 382.50, 380. $1.12. I can live with that. Okay. Tesla I got on. Win, nothing to do. And Zoom, nothing really to do. It was a sell a couple days ago. So basically, we put on about 4 or 5 trades: Nugget, NVIDIA, Crowd, Meta, and Tesla. Okay, those are 5 trades that they're on. They're working. I got it going. So now let's go back and see if there's anything going on here. If you took the 10-year trade, it's got a little bit of a profit. Nothing we're taking off here. Okay, it's in our favor at the moment. Okay, we will continue to look at it and see. And right now we don't see much else here to do. Okay, which is fine. Okay, again, we'll sit here and watch and see if anything develops. But I think that this is a great time to be careful. I don't think that you want to get anywhere too aggressive in this market. Again, you want to trade what the market is offering you. And certainly, I mean, I know that I know that Planeteer it had a big move up, which would be one, but the volume is pretty light. Okay, there you go. Not huge volume though, but certainly one you'd look at. Been obviously a great move. Stock came from $20 to 104. Again, I wouldn't look at too much. Again, I don't want to read too much into it. And if I'm not getting the volume that I want, then I don't see any reason to make that trade. I think that, again, I think we often get too excited about things that we really shouldn't be trading. Okay. And I think that is something that you've got to learn, the discipline of being in the markets. Remember, this is about money and about nothing else. So we certainly don't want to put ourselves at great risk while we're waiting. But again, it becomes the Dow. I mean, again, there's no volume here, so there's no emotion that's being put into this market. So why would I want to get overly involved? Okay, when I'm not going to get, what we're looking for is the knee-jerk reaction back. And if I'm not going to get that, then I'm putting myself in danger for no reason. I think that's always a problem with many traders. They try to make things happen when there's nothing happening. Would I like to sell it down here? Yes, I would. But I would like to sell it with a good belief that I'm going to see some speed that takes me back to the downside. And I don't see that potential of the speed to take me down. So I don't think there's any particular reason for me to get involved. Okay. Again, there's no real volume in any of these markets right now. So where should I go? The best thing to go is to do nothing. Okay. And check back, or look at some other types of positions, like we did with the spreads. Maybe there's more that you want to look at. I follow a certain group of stocks. Certainly Netflix would be one to look at if you trade those monsters. I mean, that stock exploding today. Well, it's actually come back quite a bit, but it was exploding. Not quite a trade yet either way. It doesn't really matter. GLD would be one to look at if you were so inclined. Again, I don't see a lot to do here. Here's a hot stock, a hot play. Rigetti Computing. I mean, again, if you're looking for a play, that's one to play. But again, when we go back to the purpose of why we're here, there's not much going on here. Okay. There isn't much to trade while we're looking here. Okay. And if there's not much to trade, then you can only get yourself in trouble by trading into these conditions versus trying, again, anytime you force a trade, you're depending on a reaction to the trade you make. Okay. Well, if you look at what we're looking at now, what would be your expectation, okay, of anything here? And I can't imagine that we could find much action here that would make it worthwhile for us to get involved. Okay. There's no emotion in the market right now. It's just it's traded, which is normally what it does. Okay. The VIX is getting clobbered. Okay. After its big rally yesterday. Okay. Not a surprise. Okay. So volatility is coming down. The markets are higher, which is the right relationship. There's no edge anywhere to be found. Okay. At the moment, and what we're looking at, certainly you could look through at the dollar, which again, I don't trade the dollar not because I have anything against the dollar. I don't trade the dollar because you have to pay an extra $120 a month to trade it through New York. So screw them. The euro currency, really not much in the middle. Again, you could look at anything you want. Bonds and notes were certainly a sale coming in. And if they get a little bit of a rally, they'd be a sale again. Bitcoin was a buy yesterday. Right here, I don't know. Gold is certainly a sale. Okay, if you look at it, silver is certainly a sale as well. And again, these are all short-term opinions. Okay, full disclosure: I buy gold. I own physical gold. I buy Bitcoin. I own Bitcoin. So full disclosure: when I'm talking about trading, I'm talking about depending on the time frame you're looking at, but for the next hour, the next minute, the next day. Okay, it has nothing to do, but I'm just giving you things that should happen based on where we are in the market. Okay, you get to certain positions if you trade the grains. The grains are all, although I'm very bullish the grains in longer term, the wheat is for sure a sale here. Okay, because it's overbought, and that's the only thing we're looking at. We're not looking at anything else. Okay, look what happened to the cattle. Okay, overbought, and look, it's come down dramatically. Okay, and that again is something that we're always focusing on. Okay, is the opportunities that are presented by the marketplace. You had hogs that are at a point that you might want to be a seller. Okay, natural gas, really not much to do, but closer to a buy than a sale. Crude, really not much to do. Let's go back and see if anything's developing here, by the way, while we're waiting. And of course, we had a potential seller, but we didn't take it. And not because we were afraid of the trade. We just knew that we didn't have the overall advantage to take that trade. Okay. And again, that's the biggest thing I can teach you about trading is learning that you must have the edge. Okay. In the market before you start to get aggressively involved. So basically, the faster and the more speed that's in the market, the more advantageous it is you for a trader. The truth of the matter is, if you had a choice of making 2 or 3 trades and being 2 for 2 or 3 for 3, you'd be better off making 10 trades and being 7 for 10. That would indicate that there was a lot more activity, which means your winners are going to make a lot more money. Okay. And I think that's something that you have to focus on as well. It's not just eking out. Like right now, we have a $16 profit in our 10-year in a trade that if I wasn't here with you, I would have never made the trade. Not because it's the wrong trade, but because there's nothing going on. Versus if I'm making $160 in the 10-year, I'm willing to take a lot more risk. Okay. But you don't see that kind of movement right now. Okay. And that is something that, again, we have to continually focus on. Is where are the opportunities going to come from? Okay, so right now, again, we sold Meta. Okay, well, here's what we did, and again, are they going to work? I don't know. Again, I'm not telling you they will, they won't work. I'm saying that's the trades I made. We sold Meta. Okay, we sold the 707.50, 710. We sold Nugget, the 48.49. Okay, we bought NVIDIA, or we sold put spreads in NVIDIA. Okay, 119, 118. Okay, we sold put spreads in Tesla, 380, 250, 380. Okay, and again, those are the trades. I think we have one more. I can't remember now, but let me look. And crowd. Okay, and crowd, we sold call spreads. So we have positions. All we're looking for is the markets to continue what they're doing not much of anything, and we should be just fine. Okay. And that is, again, the secrets of trading is being patient enough to wait for your active markets to become active. Okay. And until they become active, there's not much to do. And of course, we sit here with our other things. Okay. And I will advise you to close your 10-year now, take the $16. Because I won't be here to help you manage it. And again, I don't want you to get stuck. Okay. But I would advise you to go ahead and take your profit, your tiny profit, and be done there. In the meantime, let's just see if anything develops. But of course, now we're getting very late in our calendar. So I don't want to, necessarily put you in trades you may not understand or how to get out. But certainly you can close the 10-year for a small profit. Any other trade you have on until Friday. Okay. So again, I wouldn't worry about it. Just remember that if you're short call spreads, you don't care if it goes down. You just don't want it to go up from where we are. And if you're short put spreads, you don't need them to go up. You just don't want them to go down from where we are right now. And I will see you back here on Thursday. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you later.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.